Hundreds of people had front row seats. They were sitting on their couches, lying in their beds, staring at their phones, watching a 14-year-old girl spend her final hours alive. Some begged her to stop. Others told her to go through with it. And the platform streamed every second of it without interruption. For nearly 3 hours, nobody stopped her. She used a scarf. Her name was Naika Venant, and the people legally responsible for keeping her safe were either watching, asleep, or typing the cruelest words imaginable into a comment box.
Naika Venant was born in 2002 in Florida. She was 6 years old when she first entered the state's foster care system. According to DCF records, she was removed from the home of her biological mother, Gina Case, who also went by Gina Alexis on social media, following allegations of physical abuse. Reports indicate that Naika had disclosed to a therapist that she had been exposed to deeply inappropriate situations at home from a very young age, including alleged sexual abuse by a babysitter and exposure to adult content within the household. She was a child who had already endured more than most adults ever will, and she had not yet reached her teenage years. Between 2009 and 2017, Naika cycled through the Florida foster care system repeatedly. According to her mother's own attorney, she had been through more than 10 foster placements since April of 2016 alone. In total, court documents and DCF reports place the number of placements across her lifetime at 14. 14 different homes. 14 fresh starts that never held. She struggled with emotional and behavioral challenges that were thoroughly documented by the state. She ran away from placements. She expressed distress to case managers. She was a child whose file was thick with red flags, and yet, in January of 2017, she was placed in a standard foster home in Miami Gardens, Florida. Not a therapeutic facility. Not a high-level care placement. A regular home, with a foster mother, and a phone with internet access. She had been there only a short time before the night of January 22nd.
Sometime after midnight on January 22nd, 2017, Naika Venant walked into the bathroom of her foster home and opened Facebook Live. In the days leading up to that night, according to the DCF's own published report, Naika had told her case manager she was deeply unhappy. She had expressed devastation over something her mother had reportedly communicated to her, that she did not want Naika back, that Naika was going to age out of the foster care system entirely, that there was no home waiting for her on the other side. Despite those disclosures, she had reportedly appeared upbeat and happy in the days immediately prior, a detail that, for anyone familiar with the psychology of crisis, carries its own particular weight. The stream ran for close to 3 hours. Viewers arrived in the hundreds. Some recognized her. Others were complete strangers who had stumbled onto the broadcast. Many typed desperate pleas into the comments section, begging her to reconsider. Others, many of them anonymous, encouraged her to follow through. Some expressed outright disbelief, dismissing the entire thing as staged. Among those allegedly watching was her own mother. According to the DCF report, a Facebook account linked to Gina Case posted a comment during or around the time of the stream that described Naika as a sad little DCF custody jit and included the phrase, "You keep crying wolf, you dead, you will get buried." The report characterized this comment as one that could be mentally injurious to her suicidal child. Gina Case's attorney has disputed this, claiming the comment was posted after Naika's death and that his client was unaware the stream was even happening. At approximately 3:03 in the morning, Naika used a headscarf to hang herself from the shower door frame inside that bathroom. A friend who had been watching the stream called 911. It was too late. The medical examiner confirmed the cause of death as hanging. She was 14 years old. Law enforcement and DCF launched parallel reviews almost immediately. The central questions were not complicated to identify. They were, however, painful to sit with. How had a child with 14 placements, documented behavioral crises, and a recent disclosure of suicidal ideation ended up in a placement without adequate supervision? Where was the foster mother during those 3 hours? What did the caseworkers assigned to Naika's file actually do with the information she gave them. The DCF report, released publicly in March of 2017, did not soften its conclusions. It confirmed that multiple systemic failures had occurred at various points in Naika's case. According to published findings, caseworkers have been made aware of her deteriorating emotional state and her disclosures about her mother's rejection. Yet the level of intervention and monitoring that followed did not match the severity of what she had shared. The foster mother, who was present in the home that night, became a subject of scrutiny. Investigators examined the degree of supervision maintained during the hours Naika was in that bathroom. No criminal charges were filed against her in connection with Naika's death. Several DCF employees were disciplined or dismissed following the internal review, according to reports from the Miami Herald and the Sun-Sentinel. Advocates, lawmakers, and mental health professionals demanded answers from the Facebook platform. How had a graphic real-time broadcast of a child's death streamed for nearly 3 hours without being removed? At the time, Facebook Live had only been publicly available for roughly 10 months. Its content moderation infrastructure for live video, particularly for real-time crisis situations involving minors, was wholly inadequate. Facebook released a statement offering condolences. Within weeks, the company announced new suicide prevention tools. Critics noted that it had taken a child's death to prompt that response. No criminal charges were ever filed directly in connection with Naika's death. The investigation into her mother's alleged comment on the live stream did not result in prosecution. Gina Kays maintained through her attorney that the comment had been misattributed and mistimed by DCF. That dispute was never resolved in a courtroom. The foster mother faced investigation, but, according to available reporting, was not criminally charged. DCF Secretary Mike Carroll publicly acknowledged the department's failures and committed to structural reforms. Those reforms included enhanced monitoring protocols for high-risk youth, revised placement criteria for children with documented mental health needs, and increased scrutiny of caseworker response times when distress is disclosed. Whether those changes were implemented fully and whether they have held remains a subject of ongoing debate among child welfare advocates in Florida. Naika's story did not disappear quietly. It reverberated through state legislatures, child welfare organizations, and social media ethics discussions for years following her death. Her case became a reference point in broader conversations about platform accountability, the vulnerability of foster youth, and the moral responsibility of online bystanders. She also became, in a grim footnote, one of at least 3 people to live stream their own death on Facebook within the span of a single month in January 2017. Naika's story comes down to 4 interconnected failures. The foster care system shuffled her through 14 placements in 8 years, never giving her the stability that is essential, not optional, for a child's well-being. She disclosed her pain clearly to her case manager, naming her mother's rejection and her fear of aging out, yet that information went nowhere meaningful. Online, hundreds watched her final hours, and some actively encouraged her death, a pattern researchers have repeatedly documented in live-streamed crises, where anonymity emboldens cruelty. And ultimately, no one faced real accountability. Caseworkers received internal discipline. Facebook updated a feature, and neither the foster mother nor her biological mother were ever prosecuted. Systemic failure spreads blame so thinly that no single person is ever held fully responsible. But Naika was not invisible. She was seen by a system, an audience, and her own mother. She simply was not protected by any of them. Naika Venant was 14 years old. She had her whole life scripted in her head, graduating high school, attending college. She told her case manager those things in the days before she died. She deserved the chance to find out if they were possible. This has been the Case Files.